I think we played well today on this boss, and our last phase strat is really good, but we needed to do that to come back from the definite huge strat failure on Fractalus. We wasted a ton of time on that boss. And the worst part is we even had the like very little mythic wall break just like buried somewhere from testing. And we just like did something else because of like a lapse in communication basically. But good news is reset happens. We progressed this boss really well. We're not going to really make it too much farther without a reset of gear, so we're pretty much where we want to be going into a reset, so we're chilling. Plus, this is where the bosses get hard, and this is where I'd like to think, and I think recent history would show that this is where we can usually pull ahead with consistency. Now, I'm really hoping that, really hoping that we get less sick. It's kind of one of my worst nightmares when we have events where sickness happens within a few people and then it spreads, because it's just, I mean, as you can probably imagine, when you're doing this all day every day and you also have like a cold or anything worse than that, you're just gonna play significantly worse. And we have currently not everyone's sick, but all of the healers are sick, which is not good. And unfortunately the European players are starving because they don't have anyone there at night to feed them, and they're raiding all through the night because of our raid times. And just something terrible is happening with their food situation. But we're still fine. We're doing good. Did you guys like the enrage wipe of Nexus King? I think our strat looks pretty cool. You know what I found really interesting about the boss is they let you shoot the same orbs every single time. So like our strat is we just shoot the middle ones over and over and over again. What we thought they were going to do, and there was a spell flag for this, which is that you can never shoot the same 3 orbs more than once. And we have like a simulation and a like strategy for that version of the boss. It's insanely more complicated and harder. Kind of glad they did this one because the other one is just like less, it's just too crazy. Max, do you expect something crazy like a 50% HP boss nerf? Oh, no. No, not at all. The boss is fine. I think a lot of people aren't really understanding the health of the fight. Like, we lusted on the platform on our enrage wipe. We had multiple people dead for a very long time. It was their first full pull in P3, so they're not optimizing damage at all. We'll probably have 1 less DPS in the raid than we should. We're gonna have a reset of gear. You know what I mean? I mean, that boss with this reset of gear can at least get under like 20-15% at least before even like doing something crazy like dropping a healer or anything like that. I don't know how many splits we're gonna do, but if we get like 6 hours on that boss or something tomorrow, I think it's gonna be dead. Is Echo killing it before reset? They could. I'd be very surprised if they killed it before the reset without a nerf, but certainly possible. I mean, the check is kind of insane, but certainly you never want to say anything's impossible. You can always optimize. I don't see Blizzard nerfing it while you can't even prog it and EU can. Oh, they've done stuff like that before. That doesn't really matter. Actually, wait, have they done that before? Have they ever nerfed a boss that is, I'm not saying the boss is unkillable. Have they ever nerfed a boss that was unkillable and made it killable for one reset, but that wasn't true for the other? I actually don't think they've ever done that. Thoughts on Method's performance thus far? I actually have no idea. I like genuinely don't know. When we killed Fractalus, we were just yoinking what Echo did. I've genuinely not watched a single minute of Method doing anything. Max, they have nerfed Soul Hunters way too early. It sucks when bosses are knocked over after such few pulls that late into the raid. Yeah, it was definitely an early nerf, but like, do we really want to watch like a lot of pulls of Soul Hunters? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm down to like pull bosses a lot, but like that one, do we really have to pull Soul Hunters 100 times? Like we can just move on, you know? Max, do you think that raids should be able to be completed in the first lockout, or does it mean that the raid is too easy, not hard enough? The only reason that raids are not cleared in the first lockout anymore is because there's a simultaneous heroic and mythic week. It basically can't happen unless it's Aberrus, which is never gonna happen again. They cooked with Forge Weaver? Wait, are they not nerfing Forge Weaver? I think that's a huge mistake. I think it's a huge mistake. Because, like, look, is it going to get nerfed with gear? Yes, every fight will get nerfed with gear. You know what's not going to get nerfed with gear? Needing fucking 1,000 CCs in order. And if anyone dies, you instantly wipe because you lose a CC. If any ad ever gets free, it's instantly a wipe. Like, the damage is not the difficulty of that fight at all. It is everything else. And I think any guild going up to a 4th boss that would normally be on the 4th boss next week is gonna get absolutely destroyed. It's just too much. Max, the only 3 guilds that are higher than 3 out of 8 or 6 out of 8. Yeah, I think that's going to continue well into next week. Do you like the difficulty of Forge Weaver, or do you wish it was hard in a different way? No, I thought Forge Weaver was an awesome boss. Huge fan. I thought Forge Weaver was great. The only thing is like, are you asking me, do I think it was great? Like, yeah, give me good hard bosses to progress, down, right? I'm not arguing it's not good for me. I love them making every boss hard, as long as it's a good boss. I don't like spending 100 pulls on bosses that are terrible. But good bosses, hell yeah. But I don't know if it's the best thing for the game to have the 4th boss be like that. But you Vantus, so doesn't that kind of equal out? You're going to gain more damage next week than a Vantus rune. But yeah. Fractalus weak auras versus Ovanax weak auras. Oh, dude, I don't even want to talk about Fractalus. I think 40% of our wipes to that boss were a weak aura not working. That's just like, if you just hear that statement, no matter what boss it is, that is just not, it's no fun for anybody. Not weak auras, it was the horse. Well, it was not the weak aura that was broken, but the horse was desyncing people's weak auras, which was making the weak aura not work. So it wasn't the weak aura's fault that it wasn't working, but it wasn't working. That's kind of the same result. When you're pulling a boss and you're trying to outplay the boss and then your random clanker doesn't work, that's just, it just sucks, yeah? Next, look just at the journal and the changes on Mythic. Do you think the last boss will be extremely difficult, or do you think we'll see another disappointment like the Galliumix? Boss is going to be hard, for sure. Max, why are you not using Mistweaver? What's the main reason? Well, all the healers are really good, and I guess it's just like one of the buffs you don't need from healer. Also, I just like slightly don't prefer it. They also nerf the shit out of their damage. What makes P3 hard? Of this boss? Nexus King? Literally nothing. P3 is very easy. It's like the easiest part of the fight, actually. Max, why historically do the top 3 guilds not implement mythic splits for better gear optimization? You usually one-shot the first 2 to 3 bosses. It's just not worth it. Like, anytime you're talking about doing splits, you're talking about the time spent for the gain and what you're sacrificing. And anytime you're spending time, you're sacrificing time progressing mythic. And that's just simply not worth it. Like, if some guild this week doesn't kill Forge Reaver, they just kill the first 3 bosses fucking 50 times, and then they show up tomorrow without having progressed Forge Weaver, Soul Hunters, Fractalus, or Nexus King, and they're just that far behind, you just lose. It doesn't matter what you just lose. It's just, the mythic progression time is very important. Some people are doing mythic splits now. No. What we did tonight, what other guilds are going to be doing, is not mythic splits. They are doing some 2 out of 8 mythics at the end of the day, at the end of the week, for some specific characters they might gear on the reset. What a mythic split is, would be doing, like, instead of zoning in with all of your mains, which is what we are doing right now, you would instead zone in with like 1 or 2 of your mains, kill a mythic boss with all of the rest of your mirror characters, and then keep doing that. And now everyone's saved to a different mythic lockout. You can no longer progress, but you can get a bunch of mythic track gear. But if Echo does 6 out of 8 while you split the first 3 bosses, can't you just yoink all of their strats and catch up? No, it doesn't really work like that. So some bosses you can yoink a lot of, but some bosses are just more execution based. Like Forge Weaver's pretty yoinkable. Like, what's some ones in the past? Like, I just don't want to cherry pick ones where we're like, we were the ones getting yoinked from. But like Echo of Neltharion, we woke up and we killed Magmarax, went to bed, and then Echo killed Magmarax, and we woke up and had like an hour or 2 of Neltharion prog. Kind of similar to today, actually. It's actually exactly the same as today. We woke up with them being 2 hours on the last boss, or on the second to last boss. And I got to yoink just infinite shit that took a long time to figure out. But then sometimes it doesn't matter, right? Soul Hunters is also like kind of a full yoinking. Like, you can just gain a lot of information. Just simply takes time and pulls to come up with something, usually. And then anyone that has it from the beginning can save time. But not all bosses are like that, really. Like, dude, yoinking fucking Fractalus today was insane. Bro, if we could have yoinked that yesterday when we got to Fractalus, we would have been on Nexus King for most of the day yesterday. Like, that was definitely not good that we did not have that. We had a very bad strat for that fight, but we turns out it's like kind of the great equalizer. You get to the basically we got as far as you really could get on Nexus King right now. Like, we could have gotten the boss lower, but we got to the enrage with everyone alive, or most people alive. Like, that's what you want going into the reset, and then it's just about having more gear and doing it. Max, but apparently you don't copy each other. Huh? No, we all do that. You'd be stupid not to. Anytime you're behind, you get some nice little quick scoop in the morning. That's the low key. That is the like best thing to wake up to. It is actually the best thing to wake up to. When you wake up and you just have a bunch of good strats or information to yoink, you're just like, oh dude, thank God I don't have to think about that. It's amazing. I'm stealing that shit right now. Then you get to do the slingshot. How do you feel about the race so far? Pretty good. It's definitely not been the best start. It kind of feels similar to last year, but in like a different way. Like last year, we ended the first week and it was like, damn, that wasn't really optimal, but you know, we'll just like come back from it. It'll be fine. But last tier, it wasn't due to anything that we were doing play-wise or strat-wise. We just like lost power and had infinite like lagging and just like time losses that was against our, like we couldn't do anything about it. This tier is kind of similar, like, except it was just self-inflicted in two ways. Some people getting sick and then spreading it, and then also bad strat. But the good news is I said that actually, this is like deja vu from last year. I literally said this on Monday. I was like, the good news is last year I said Sprocketmonger isn't the end boss. You know, we have an entire rest of the race to play out, and then we did, you know? So yeah, same shit. Fractalus wasn't the end boss. The last one is. Do you think the raid will be cleared before Friday? Yeah, it could. I mean, it just depends on how hard the last boss is. Nexus King will be dead tomorrow. Or if not tomorrow, the day after.